आज यहाँ अधिकतर लोग प्रदेश से आए हुए हैं, इसलिए अंग्रेजी में बात करेंगे। आप लोग अधिकतर अंग्रेजी समझते ही हैं। Today we are going to have the puja of Shri Krishna. In Shri Krishna's life, the river Yamuna has played a very great role. Yamuna river is a very deep river, and the water has a blue color, which they say Shri Krishna also had. While the river Ganges flows faster and much shallower than this river. Next year maybe we might go to Allahabad, might be able to see the two rivers meeting. The whole of Haryana has been a very, very historical, mythological place. You must have known about it, that Pandavas and Kauravas fought in Kurukshetra, and also all this area has been used since long for meditation. Markandeya, whose name you have heard many times, meditated in this India. First he was in Maharashtra, where you have seen the Saptashringi. And after that he came down here and meditated and wrote his treatise. Everywhere you find a place of a peer. Also they are realized souls who have been respected till today. To begin with, we have to say that this is the area of great spirituality. Because Shri Krishna lived here, and in those days there were no cars, not this transport. So he has vibrated all this land so beautifully. Very fond of playing near the river Yamuna. Of course, his childhood was not spent here, but later on, when he became the king, he used to visit this place many a times. We have to understand his character in a very special way. First we had the incarnation of Sri Rama. The Vishnu, as you know, took the birth of Sri Rama. But Sri Rama forgot his divinity. He was made to forget his divinity. And he lived like an ordinary person, became a king, like Socrates has described, the benevolent king. And he had to also sacrifice his wife. That's very symbolic, no doubt. The other part of North India will be able to see his vibrated areas where he moved. But Maharashtra he went without shoes, walked and walked and walked. Thus, this whole country is really vibrated by great saints and by great incarnations. Shri Krishna's one side was that he was like a child and he wanted to create an atmosphere of mirth, of joy. Because at the time of Sri Rama, after him, the religion was taken very seriously. And people started doing very serious type of religion. The same incarnation again reappeared. Shri Krishna. And Shri Krishna wanted to show that spirituality is not serious. It's Leela. It's a game that you have to play. And in his lifetime he showed. People don't understand him at all because from Sri Rama's concept they cannot condescend to come down to the sometimes to the level of Shri Krishna, which was I think was much higher. Because he had to show that all this world is just a joke, is Maya. And beyond that is joy. His own style was very interesting. That time they couldn't have such beautiful pandals, they couldn't have so many disciples. So he tried on his own style. And his style was, when he was a child, there were many milkmaids whom they called gopis. They would be taking their bath in the river Yamuna. Not here. He would just break their water pitcher and the water would flow on their back. This Yamuna river was vibrated by Radha. Radha. Ra means energy, Dha means the one who sustains. Radha, Dhareti, Sada. Radha. And he didn't know how to tell them about Kundalini. So he used to throw stones, small stones, at those pitchers and the water would flow down their backbone, thus giving them the blessings of the Kundalini. His style was extremely simple, playful, mirthful, and nobody understood why he was doing all these things. Also, when he was a very small child, there were ladies who were taking their baths. So he was trying to raise their Kundalini and he hid their clothes, he vibrated them. So many people don't understand, a little child is so innocent. And he was teasing them and tried to show that life is nothing but joy. And he gave them those clothes. Later on, he grew up. Then he became the king of Dwarika. In our country, there are very westernized intellectuals. And they try to say that there were two Shri Krishnas. I mean, they want to analyze everything without understanding spirituality. What is the subtle thing behind it? He had 16,000 wives, as they say. They were his powers. See, for men, I am a mother. I can have thousands of children, boys, girls, men, women. Nobody can say anything about my character. But for men it is very difficult. So he got all his powers born as women who were married to some king. Not married, actually he had abducted those women and put them in jail. So he saved them from there, brought them out and married them. Now if you see the accent is on marriage. He married them. These were his 16,000 powers. As you know, he has 16 petals and 1,000 of the Sahasrara 16,000 powers which he married. Then he had 5 wives, for which also people have objection. Only Krishna can do like that. 5 wives are the 5 elements. The essence of them, the causal of them came as his wives and he married them. But he was such a detached soul. There's a lot of stories about detachment. There was one great rishi, meaning a saint, a sage, who had arrived on the other side of the river Yamuna. This was in Dwarika. And there was no Yamuna river, but there was Narmada and Tapi. And they wanted to go and serve the sage. So when they went near the river, they found the river was all flooded. So they went back to Shri Krishna and said, see, we are going to worship the sage and the river is all flooded. So he said, alright, you go and tell the river a truth. By that truth it will go down. What's the truth? That Shri Krishna is a brahmachari, is a celibate person. He had 5 wives. They said, how can we say this? This is the truth. He said, you go and tell. Tell the river. And river will understand the truth, the power of truth will put down the floods. So they went and they said that Shri Krishna is a brahmachari. And the river went down. And they were surprised. How it can happen? This fellow is our husband. And how can he say that he is a brahmachari? So this, they served the sage, served him well, gave him food, looked after him. And when they came back, they again saw the river was in floods. So they were quite worried how to cross the river now. So they went back to the sage and informed the sage that, see, we have to go back and the river is in speed and we don't know how to cross over.